As Peter just mentioned, the president-elect has been briefed on the situation in Germany, bringing the debate over daily intelligence briefings back into the spotlight. The issue was first raised when Mr. Trump said he receives the briefings on an as-needed basis, prompting strong criticism from President Obama. Watch.
I think the president-elect may say one thing and do another once he's here. It doesn't matter how smart you are. You have to have the best information possible to make the best decisions possible. If you're not getting their perspective, their detailed perspective, then you are flying blind.
Joining me now, Mark Thiessen, American Enterprise Institute Fellow and Fox News contributor, and Jessica Ehrlich, Democratic strategist and former Florida congressional candidate. Great to see you both.
Good to see you.
Good evening.
All right, Mark, we can't ignore the fact that you have done a lot of reporting on presidential briefings and criticized President Obama over his own record. There have been critics to come after you who question some of your reporting, but clearly this is different for everyone.
No, absolutely. And what President Obama said in that briefing, in that interview, is 100% correct. This is the most important meeting that the President of the United States has every day, sitting down with his intelligence advisors, going through the daily threat matrix, going through all the intel that's come in overnight about threats to the country. The problem is that President Obama, during his presidency, has skipped that meeting for almost 60% of the time. From 2009 until 2014, he's missed almost 6 out of 10 of those meetings. Now, his defenders say, well, he reads the presidential daily brief, and so that's just as good as having an in-person meeting. No, it's not. If you're reading it on a piece of paper, you can't or on an iPad, as he supposedly does, you can't ask questions, you can't probe for information, you can't challenge assumptions, you can't ask for more information and say, well, I need more about that, or I need less about this. So this is a really important meeting. When Donald Trump is president, he needs to go to it every single day. It's really super important, but Barack Obama is sort of giving him a do as I say, not as I do piece of advice here.
All right, Jessica, I want to read to you from what Donald Trump told our Chris Wallace on Fox News Sunday, just to clarify what he has said about the briefings. He said, first of all, these are very good people that are giving me the briefings. If something should change from this point, immediately call me. I'm available on 1 minute's notice. He went on to say, I don't need to hear the same thing over and over if there isn't a change to the situation, but call me 24/7 if there is. He also talked about his generals and now Vice President-elect Mike Pence being briefed all the time. And, you know, is that good enough for you?
Well, I think there's a twofold concern in terms of President Trump or President-elect Trump not getting these daily briefings. One is he's already expressed, and even through his Twitter, a lot of doubt and mistrust of our national security officers and the intel that they're delivering. And I think, you know, partly to Mark's point, that needs to be built up. There needs to be a relationship that is established between the president and his agents who are out around the world, you know, representing the United States, gathering intel, and their ability to deliver that to him so that he can make the best decisions possible. That is the job of the president. The second is, you know, Donald Trump, I understand the idea of him coming in and, you know, wanting to run the presidency more like a CEO or a business. However, there is a lot of sort of, you know, absurdity in the sense of Donald Trump's business has been construction. He's the CEO of a major corporation that he's very, you know, proud about, bragging about. His father trained him in that business. He's trained his children in that business. He spent longer than I've been alive in that business. He admittedly has almost no foreign affairs experience, and he needs to be able. He does have
properties around the world. I mean, it's not like he's a stranger to international relations.
Well, he's traveled, he's done international business deals. That's a very different thing than dealing with the intel that someone needs, as we know, very intense security levels. The intel that you and I have, even from being, you know, tourists or dealing in business, even if you do international law, is completely different than what the president is receiving. And a lot of these security committees that are top secret, whether it's in the Senate or in the House, and President-elect Trump needs to get up to speed. He needs to know what's going on, and then he can delegate to people that he works with, that he trusts. But until he's there, it's a huge concern.
Mark, a quick final word to you. Is it okay with you, as we've outlined it, with Trump saying, I definitely want to be briefed, everyone around me is being briefed, but until something changes, you know, I don't need to be bothered, but then call me 24/7. Good enough?
Yeah. No. I mean, look, first of all, Donald Trump has more international experience than Barack Obama did when he came into the White House, and probably more international experience than a governor coming into the White House has. He's been doing, as you say, business deals around the world. He has relationships with world leaders, so I think he probably feels very comfortable. He's put together a fantastic national security team that's going to keep him apprised, but the presidential daily brief is a unique animal. It is designed specifically for his needs. You know, he said in that interview with Chris, I don't need to hear the same thing every day in the same words. If he meets with his briefers every day, he's not going to hear the same thing, because they're going to listen to him and tailor the brief to his needs, his desires, what he needs. They need also hear from him so that they can provide the right kind of intelligence for him to make decisions. So it's really, really important to me to go to this meeting.
Yeah, everybody's got a different style, and so we'll see how this comes together. And as Jessica said, good to build up that relationship between the intel community and the next commander-in-chief. Great to see you both. Thanks for coming on Kelly File.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you.